welcome back to Stace Does Travel and welcome to a little bit of a different video today. This is not going to be a vlog, it is going to be a Q&A video which I'm so excited about. I did actually put a question box on my Instagram stories a few days ago, so I'm going to be answering all of your burning questions. Thank you to everyone who did ask a question. I've got a cup of tea literally the size of my head, so I am ready to go, ready to sit here and answer all of the questions that you guys asked. And yeah, I'm excited for you to get to know me a little bit better. I was asked a couple of non-travel related questions, so I'm going to start with those because you guys need to get to know me and not just as me travelling. So I am just going to start with those. I am just going to look at my laptop, which is next to you, so if I'm not looking at you, I am looking at my laptop because I will not remember these questions off the top of my head. But the first question I was asked was, what do you actually do for a living? I would love to be able to tell you that I travel for a living. I visit Disney parks for a living. I visit all these incredible places for a living. And one day I will be able to say that I am manifesting it into the universe. But right now, unfortunately, I do not travel for a living. But I do work full-time for our amazing NHS. I am a biomedical scientist. It's not as glamorous as it sounds, I promise. So many people go, oh, wow, when I tell them biomedical scientist. It's really not as glamorous as it sounds. It's like the behind the scenes of a hospital. But yeah, I am a biomedical scientist. I work for a hospital in Cardiff and I work in the toxicology department. It's really interesting work. I really enjoy it. I've met some amazing people through my job and yeah, I just absolutely love it. I'm not going to say too much because I will bore you, but yeah, I really do enjoy it and yeah, it pays the bills. I also do have a second job as well. I actually have a travel business that I run in my spare time. So I can book my own travel, I can book others' travel, and I also help people to get started with their own travel businesses as well. It's always something I wanted to be able to do, is to work in travel, and this was a really nice way for me to sort of have a gateway into travel. So yeah, I absolutely love my travel business. It's helped me travel so much more than I ever thought would be possible. And it's just opened up a whole new world for me. It's allowed me to earn some extra money. It's allowed me to travel more. And yeah, I'll just be forever thankful that I decided to give it a go one day. And, you know, 3 years down the line, I've seen corners of the world I never thought I'd see. I've seen more Disney parks than I ever thought I'd see. And yeah, I'm just really grateful that I decided to take the jump and start my business. But yeah, I do actually have 2 jobs outside of all my traveling, but I love them both equally. The next question I actually love. It's so funny to me, but I just love it. And it's, how did I name my cats? So I actually have 2 cats, Luna and Lila. And it's a little bit of a funny story. I'm not going to bore you with the long story, I'll bore you with the short one. I was only supposed to get 1 cat. So I had a housemate when I bought my house. He lived with me for probably about 9 months. And when he moved out, I decided that I didn't like an empty house and that I wanted to get a cat. I've always wanted to have my own cat. As soon as I moved into my own home, I thought, right, I want a cat one day. Because I had a cat in my family home, Rudy, and, you know, I loved him to death and I loved having that presence around. So as soon as my housemate moved out, I was like, I'm getting a cat. So I always knew I wanted a cat called Luna. I just knew it. I wanted a little tabby cat called Luna, but I ended up with 2 black and white cats. So obviously I have my Luna, who I knew was going to be called Luna the second I laid my eyes on her. And when I actually went and saw Luna, she was bonded with her sister. And I was like, oh my God, to separate them would be devastating. So I did say to the people I was getting Luna from, I said, if, you know, the person who wants her sister happens to change their mind, please let me know. I'd love to keep them together. And the person did change their mind. So I came home with my Lila as well. And it actually took me about a week to name Lila. Like, it genuinely took me so long because I didn't know that I was going to have a second cat until she came home with me. So it took me a long time to name Lila. You know, I was texting all my friends, nobody could give me any ideas, and I was like, well, I want to stick with the letter L. And I think when I googled Lila, I can't quite remember the meaning of it now, but it was something to do with the sky, and obviously Luna's something to do with the sky. And I was like, oh my God, that's literally so perfect. And yeah, she became my Lila. So I've got Luna and Lila, and yeah, Luna I always knew was going to be Luna, and Lila was a happy accident. The next question is, why did you decide to start a YouTube channel? And this is actually something I was thinking about for a really long time before I actually did it. I had my Instagram, I had a TikTok account, I wasn't really posting on it, but I did have a TikTok account. And I've always loved posting on Instagram and chatting to people on Instagram and like posting my trips on Instagram and then having them as like my highlights on my profile to watch back. I've always loved. And I was like, oh, I'd just love to have like full-length videos to watch back, that would be awesome. And then when I went on my Caribbean cruise in 2023 with my friend, we didn't vlog as such, but she filmed like some moments during the cruise and she put it all together and she sent it to me. And I was like, oh my God, that's so nice to like have and watch back. And it was just amazing to have like those memories in video form. And I thought, do you know what the hell? I was like, I'm going to start a YouTube, and if no one watches it, that's fine, because I'll watch it. And yeah, there's over 300 subscribers right now, which is still insane to me. It blows my mind all the time that 300 people like my travels enough to subscribe and see more. So thank you to everyone who is subscribed. If you aren't, please do. It just means the world to me when people subscribe and watch my stuff. But yeah, I basically thought one day, what the hell, like what have I got to lose by starting a YouTube channel? So I started small. I used my phone for all of the filming, all of the editing, posting, uploading, everything under the sun. I just used my phone because I thought, well, I've already got a phone, it films in 4K, and that's just a nice way to get started. And then after about, I think maybe 8 months, I did actually upgrade to my current camera, which is the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, and it was a lot of money. It was a big investment, but I thought for the quality it's going to provide, it's worth it. So yeah, the whole reason I started my YouTube channel is because I want to document my travels, I want to watch back my travels, and it's something I've wanted to do for a really, really long time. This next question follows on quite nicely from the previous one, and I don't know if I'm in any sort of position to be giving YouTube advice. I don't know, but I'm going to. But the next question is, what advice would you give to someone who wants to start their own YouTube channel? And probably my biggest piece of advice is to just go for it. Just film what you want to film. Like, it's going to feel weird filming in public. It's going to feel weird like talking to your phone or your camera or however you film. It still feels weird to me. I get so much anxiety filming in public places. Not so much theme parks, but like at the airports especially in the UK. I feel like it's not so much of a thing over in the UK. So like filming at the airport is quite daunting to me, because a lot of people do kind of go like, what are you doing? But it's just one of those things you just have to sort of get past. But yeah, my biggest piece of advice is just to do it. Just pick up the camera, talk to the camera, film what you want to film. I mean, if you don't want to talk to the camera, that's fine. Film your trip. Film it. Just film it. What's the worst that can happen? All that you're going to do is film your trip and have that to look back on, and you will love it, trust me. So yeah, I don't really have any, really in-depth advice. But if you are thinking about starting one, my biggest piece of advice is just to start it. See what happens. You might love it, you might hate it. You don't know until you try. But yeah, that's just my tiny piece of advice. Moving on to the more travel-centered questions, because obviously this is a travel channel and I have a travel Instagram, so most of the questions were travel-related. A lot of them were Disney-related. But yeah, we're going to move on from Stacey as a human, and we're going to move on to Stacey as a traveller and a Disney fan. So the next question was, what is my bucket list holiday? And I love this question because I feel like with a bucket list holiday, you kind of put like how much money it's going to cost you aside, because it's what you absolutely want to do one day. And I was actually chatting with a friend about this the other day, and I said, what should I say? I think I said I'd love to do the Maldives. I would love to go to the Maldives. It looks just incredible there. It just looks like the most peaceful, incredible place in the world, and I definitely want to go there at some point in my life. If I do happen to get married, fingers crossed, one day I'd love for that to be like a honeymoon. That would be incredible. And another place that I would love to go on the bucket list is Disney's Aulani Resort. It just looks lush. Like you've literally combined Hawaii and Disney and smashed them together, and it just looks amazing. And yeah, it's somewhere I'd really like to visit one day. I know it's very, very, very expensive, but it is up there on my bucket list. This next question really made me laugh, because you lot should know me better by now, and it is, do you prefer planning every detail or winging it when you travel? Come on now, I plan every single detail. Like, I am not a wing it girl at all. I need to know the itinerary, I need to know the plans, I need to know everything, and I am the person who's going to plan that. If you ask my friend Emily, I travel a lot with Emily, you will know I am a planner. Like, honestly, I plan before, I plan during, I plan as much as I can. And part of it is because I enjoy it, and part of it is because a lot of unknowns give me a lot of anxiety. So to go into like a new destination or a new place, or even somewhere I've been before, would give me a lot of anxiety if I don't quite know what's going on. So yeah, I'm definitely a planner. I'm definitely I will write down a sort of, at least a rough itinerary. Like, obviously I'm off to Orlando later in the year. I will do a video all about that trip and what I'm going to be up to at some point. But for that, I've already started an itinerary. So it's just like what time my flight is, what time I'm getting to the airport, what hotel I'm at the night before, and then like while I'm out there, what park I'm going to each day, like where I might want to eat, like where I need to go and get my tickets from. Stuff like that, I just need to plan out just for my mental health. So yeah, I am definitely a planner. Big time planner. And that is a lot of the reason as well why I started my travel business, because I bloody love planning travel. The next question was one travel destination that didn't live up to the hype for you. This was a really hard one to think about, and I did have to think for a while. And I unfortunately had a really bad experience when I went to Rome. If you've seen those vlogs, you'll see it was a little bit of a disaster of a trip, to be honest. And I've been to Rome before. I went to Rome for, I don't know, like 7 or 8 hours off a cruise, and I absolutely loved it. But when I went to Rome as like a destination for 3 days, I did not have a very good time. I'm not knocking Rome. Rome's a beautiful city, but I think I expected this phenomenal trip full of phenomenal sights, and it was just going to be incredible and amazing and beautiful, and I didn't quite get that. I would go back to Rome happily. I would definitely go back, but that trip was just sort of really disappointing for me, and yeah, I came away wanting to leave and wanting to go home. So yeah, that's probably the place I've been that didn't live up to the hype, and yeah, wouldn't want to relive that trip. The next question, I literally can't answer because it would take me a couple of days to narrow things down, but it's my top 3 Disney songs. I don't even think I could give you a top 10. I don't think I could give you a top 20 because there's so many different Disney songs that I love and that I listen to often that I don't think I'd be able to say these 3 are my top 3. But like, there's so many incredible films out there, there's so many incredible soundtracks out there, I wouldn't be able to pick 3. So I'm very sorry to the person who asked me this question, but I cannot answer it because I love all Disney music and I can't choose 3. The next question is, what was my first ever holiday? And I'm quite embarrassed to say I can't remember. It's one of 2. It's either the first time I went to Disneyland Paris with my parents, or it's Lapland. And I'm more inclined to say it was probably Lapland because I don't really remember it, whereas I do have some like sort of like vague memories of Disneyland Paris. So it was one of the 2, I just don't know which one. So I went to Lapland with my parents when I was really little. I couldn't tell you how long we were there, I couldn't tell you how we got there, I couldn't tell you what the accommodation was like. I remember meeting Santa, and that's probably about it. And yeah, I went to Disneyland Paris, I think when I was 6, maybe, with my parents for the first time. I really can't remember. Like, it's one of the 2 though. It's either Disneyland Paris or Lapland, and I just remember I was really little. Like, I must have been 5 or 6, if that. But yeah, one of those 2. This next question is really hard to answer as well. Do you prefer solo travel or travelling with others? And that's really hard to answer because you can go to the same place solo and with friends and have 2 completely different experiences. Like, I have been to Disneyland Paris solo a couple of times and I've loved every trip. But I've also been to Disneyland Paris with friends loads of times and had wonderful trips. So I can't really answer that because it's a completely different experience when you're on your own compared to when you're with friends. But if I were to choose, like if you said to me, for the rest of your life you can only travel solo or you would only go with friends, I'd go with friends. Purely because I feel like enjoying places and having new experiences with friends is more exciting than doing it on your own. I love a solo trip, don't get me wrong. I've travelled solo a lot. I've been to Disneyland Paris, I've been to Rome, I've been over to New York on my own. Like, I've done a lot of solo travel and I've loved it. But I think if I were to choose, I would want to travel with friends and make those memories with friends and have those experiences with friends. So yeah, I think overall I definitely prefer traveling with others, but I do also enjoy a solo trip. This next one is, again, a little bit hard to answer. I feel like I've said that for everything, but it is, how do you budget for your trips but still make the most of them? And I travel a lot. Like, if you haven't already guessed, I travel a lot. I make my money stretch so far. Like, I'm the kind of girl who will give up like luxuries to have more money to travel. Like, I got my hair cut today and I was like, oh, I don't want to spend £30 to have my hair cut because that's like, you know, that's 30 quid I could spend on airport parking or 30 quid towards a hotel. I'm that kind of person who will not spend money on things I don't need if it means more money can go towards travel. So I don't know how I budget. I do have a big spreadsheet that literally has all of my incoming and all of my outgoing for the year, and then I sort of use that to see how many trips I can go on, what I can afford to spend on these trips. Like, you know, am I going to go to a basic hotel? Am I going to go to a nicer hotel? So yeah, I think my biggest advice with budgeting is just to start a spreadsheet. Like, I've got this massive spreadsheet. I think it's got 4 pages on it at the moment. So I've got my 2025 spending. I've also started my 2026 spending just so I can start thinking ahead for the future. I've got a page that's all about our Asia trip later this year because that has been a logistical nightmare to book and plan. So I've got a page dedicated to that. And then I've also got a page that is my monthly spending. So that is every single one of my outgoing payments that goes every month. So all of my bills, like my phone bill, all of that boring stuff, like my breakdown cover, all of that stuff is put into a spreadsheet. My monthly incoming is also in there. And then I break down sort of what I've got to pay for each month. So it would be like, I don't know, I paid for flights last month, so that's £300 for the flights. Like I do that sort of almost on a weekly basis because it depends on what I'm buying, what I'm spending my money on. So yeah, I am a hardcore budgeter. I will budget like hell to make a trip happen. Like for Orlando later this year, it's a trip I can't afford. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't have the spare £2,000, but I am prepared to make sacrifices in order to make it happen. So I have cut back like my monthly spending by, I think it's about 60 quid a month, and that is going to help pay towards Orlando. I make sacrifices. I find a way. Like traveling is a massive part of my life. It's something I am always going to be really passionate about, something that I'm always going to love, and it's something I am not prepared to sacrifice. So if I have to go, you know, month to month with a few less luxuries, so be it, if it means I can travel. So yeah, I don't quite know if that was the question you were asking me, but I think that's what I took from it. I don't know if you were asking me how I budget day to day or whether how I budget on holiday, but yeah, I hope that answered your question. The next question is how I deal with travel anxiety. Not very well. I am a very anxious little person, I won't lie to you. I get anxious about anything and everything, and travelling does give me a lot of anxiety, especially if it's like a big holiday or I'm going to a new place or I'm going somewhere for a long time. I'm one of those people who will prepare for the worst for everything. So even if I go to Paris, I am literally like, right, I need to get to the airport. What if there's a crash in the M4? What if I have to find a diversion? Right. What if I get to the airport parking and it takes ages to, you know, park the car or whatever? What if, you know, there's a big queue of security and I miss my flight? What if? I am terrible. But because my anxiety is so bad, I almost overplan things and then I do have a solution if things do go wrong. Kind of works out a little bit. But yeah, if you are like me and you suffer from travel anxiety, I think the best thing I can probably say to you is you're more prepared than anyone else. Like, I am so prepared for my trips to go wrong. And if they do go wrong, I'm like, all right then, that's fine. Like, I've had so many flight delays and so many flight cancellations at this point. When things are delayed and cancelled, I'm like, cool, that's fine. We just roll with it. So, yeah, I don't deal with it very well, but it does almost do me good in the long run. So, yeah, that was a bit of a weird one to explain. But I do hope that I answered your question. Yeah. Let's move on to Disney, because this will make me happy. So the first Disney question I was asked is, what is your favourite Disney park? So I have only been to Disneyland Paris, Walt Disney World and Disneyland California. My favourite park is always going to be Disneyland Paris. Disneyland Park at Disneyland Paris is always going to be my favourite park. And I say that without having even visited the Asian parks, because I know Paris is always going to have my heart. Like, Disneyland Paris has got a very, very, very special place in my heart. I can literally feel myself getting emotional just talking about it. I went to Disneyland Paris a lot when I was younger with my parents. Sorry, I'm literally crying. Oh my god. I didn't expect this to make me emotional. I went to Disneyland Paris a lot with my parents when I was younger. I've got a lot of good memories with my parents at Disneyland Paris. Give me a second. So sorry, I don't know why I'm getting really emotional. Well, I do know why I'm getting really emotional. I've got a lot of memories at Disneyland Paris with my parents. My mother sadly passed away about 7 years ago now, and it makes me really happy when I remember our happy memories at Disneyland Paris. I'm so sorry, I think I've composed myself now. I didn't expect to be crying on camera today, not gonna lie. But yeah, I've got a lot of happy memories at Disneyland Paris from when I was younger, and also a lot of happy memories from when I've been an adult visiting Disneyland Paris. So since visiting with my parents, I have visited Disneyland Paris 25 to 30 times probably. I started going as an adult. I went with a school trip when I was 17. I went with my friend Emma for the Christmas season in 2019. I went solo in 2021 just after COVID and the borders had opened again, and that was the most phenomenal trip ever. Being back at Disneyland Paris after being away for 2 years because I physically couldn't get there was just really magical. And yeah, then I became a Disneyland Paris annual pass holder and my life has changed since. I've visited so many times, it's just been so much fun. I've made so many friends through Disneyland Paris as well. One of my closest friends, Lauren, not Disney Lauren, my other friend Lauren, we actually met at Disneyland Paris on the TGV train. So I met her at Disney. She's someone I would not know without Disneyland Paris existing, which is really special because she's now one of my closest friends. But yeah, I've found the most incredible community through Disneyland Paris, and if it weren't for Disneyland Paris, I never would have started my Instagram. Like, my Instagram originated with Stace Does Disney. It was never Stace Does Travel, it was Stace Does Disney, and then one day I decided to sort of branch out a little bit to share all of my travels. But yeah, I never would have started that Instagram account and made all the friends that I have, and found all the people that I have, and found the community that I have. And yeah, I just think Disneyland Paris is a really special place just to bring people together and to have those incredible memories, and I just think it's just an incredible place and I'll love it forever. This is kind of following on from that one, but it is my favourite thing about the Disney parks. And this is going to sound really cringe, but it is the magic. Like, you walk into a Disney park, your worries are gone. Poof, out the window, gone. Like, I can literally be an anxious wreck leading up to my Disney trip, and the second I step foot in those parks, I am like, gone. I am a child, I am 5 years old again, I am at my happy place. And I think that is definitely my most favourite thing about the parks. It's just, you get to be a kid again. You get to feel the magic of Disney and you get to be a kid again, and I love that. I just think it's just amazing. The next question is, Walt Disney World or Disneyland California? California. I said what I said. I know a lot of people prefer Walt Disney World because it's bigger and obviously you're like in the bubble with staying on site and like the buses and all that jazz. But I don't think a lot of people have been to Disneyland California and understand the magic that is in those parks. Like, I always thought Walt Disney World's the best, you know, it's the biggest, it's the best, it's just amazing. And then I went to Disneyland California and everything changed. Like, as soon as I spent like my first day in Disneyland Park in California, I was like, wow. Like, there's characters just roaming around. There's just, it's just, I can't even put into words like how special and how magical that park is. And California Adventure as well, that's incredible too. But like, it just is on another level of magic. I think it's because it's the only park Walt ever walked through. He obviously was there from the start of the building to the end of the building. He was there for it all. He walked through those parks. Like, through that park rather. He only went through Disneyland Park. But I just think that makes it incredibly special and incredibly magic, and I think everyone who is a Disney fan should visit Disneyland California at least once in their life, just because it is really, really, really a special place. If it was cheaper to get to Disneyland California, I would definitely visit more often, but unfortunately it does work out a little bit more expensive than Walt Disney World. Like, for example, I think we paid probably about £500 for a 5-day park hopper ticket at Disneyland, whereas a 2-week park hopper a 2-week park hopper ticket at Walt Disney World is around £600 or £700. So it is hard toss up, but I would love to visit Disneyland California more if I can. The next question is, what is my top tip for Disneyland Paris? Get an annual pass. Joking. This is kind of a hard one to answer because I go to Disneyland Paris a lot. Like, I never had like my first time as an adult. Like, my first time was something I don't remember, so I can't say my top tip to you going to Disneyland Paris for your first time is, because I don't remember my first time. But I feel like I'm going to be cliche here and just say, like, download the app, because it is actually really helpful. Like, having the map, the wait times, like ordering food, all of that stuff, like characters. It is genuinely really helpful. I mean, I personally don't use it a lot because I know my way around, but it is helpful for people who might not know their way around as well as I do. Also, if you do have an iPhone, make sure you download an app called MagiPark, because it is so much simpler to look at. Let me literally get it up on my phone for you. So I find the Disneyland Paris app a little bit clunky, whereas MagiPark looks like this. Oh, I don't know if you can see that because the reflection in my window. But it just shows everything like a lot nicer, and then you can like scroll through. So like, these are all my favourite attractions, and it literally comes up on the homepage. You can add like a widget to your phone home screen as well, so it'll like show you the wait times on your phone screen. And yeah, I just think it's a great app. So if you have an iPhone, I don't think it's available on Android. Feel free to tell me I'm wrong in the comments if they have released it for Android now. But yeah, my top tip would probably be the Disneyland Paris app, or if you have an iPhone, Magic Park. Next up, we have my favourite Disney ride. I had a different answer for a long time. My favourite ride used to be Hyperspace Mountain at Disneyland Paris. I love that ride, but as I'm getting older, it's starting to hurt me. If you haven't ridden it, it has like the normal pull down harness. It's a roller coaster if you don't know. It has a pull down harness, but it also has like a full chest like rubber piece that really like pins you in. And I think because you're so pinned in, your head sort of wobbles around, so I get off hurting now. So I still do love it, and it still is one of my favourites. But Big Thunder Mountain has overtaken it. I just think it's so much fun. I think it's longer. I think the vibes are better. And I just love that ride so much. It is currently down for refurb at Disneyland Paris. I haven't ridden it since October last year, and it's now almost June. Very sad. But it will be open for my next trip in August, so all is well. But yeah, that is definitely my favourite ride at Disneyland Paris, and probably in any Disney park ever, actually. Yeah. My next question is my go-to snack at the Disney parks. And again, another question I can't really answer because there's nothing I love that I would get every single time I go. So like at Disneyland Paris, for example, my favourite used to be the cake pop. They've now changed it. I don't like it anymore. I do like the like Mickey sandwiches that they do and the croque monsieurs that they do, but I don't know if you'd class it as a snack because they are obviously quite large. But yeah, Disney parks have loads of great snacks. My favourite snack at Disneyland California is the cheesy garlic pretzel bread. That, 10 out of 10. Sometimes I think about it and I'm just like, oh my god, I miss it. I genuinely think we must have had 3 or 4 in the 5 days we were there. So good, so good. So yeah, I don't really have a go-to snack as such. I just quite like all of the snacks. I like to like vary it and, you know, spice things up a little bit when I go because eating the same thing all the time is boring. But yeah, I don't really have a go-to snack as such. I just like them all. My final question, and the one I actually purposely saved for last because I love it the most, is what is your favourite Disney memory? As I mentioned earlier, I've got a lot of good memories with my parents at the parks when I was younger, but again, I don't really remember a lot of it because I was sort of between the ages of like 5 and maybe like 13, so like I don't remember some of it. But my most favourite memory and something that always sticks in my brain and I think about it often is I had an evening at Disneyland Paris with my friend Lauren. We went and did Plaza Gardens character dining and had the most fantastic experience. The characters loved us. Mickey Mouse came over to us like 3 or 4 times. He sat down, we said we were going to order him a cocktail. He was loving it. And that was a really fun experience for us. And then at the time we were Infinity annual pass holders. This was 2 years ago now, the Infinity annual pass no longer exists. But as part of the perks of the annual pass, you actually had reserved viewing for the fireworks. So we were sat right down the front, smack bang in the middle of the castle. We sat for the entire show, which was something really special. And we watched, I think it was Disney Dreams at the time? I don't know, it was either Dreams or Illumination. I'm going to go with Dreams though, I think it was Dreams. And we watched Disney Dreams. And it was like the most phenomenal moment. Like the pair of us just felt really grateful for that evening and really lucky to be there, and it's something I'm going to remember for a really, really, really long time because it was just the perfect Disney evening. It was just so much fun, and yeah, that's definitely my favourite Disney memory because it was just such an incredible evening and something I'm going to remember forever. And that just about wraps up this Q&A. Thank you so much to anyone who did ask me a question. I have loved answering them and I hope that you've enjoyed this video and enjoyed getting to know me a little bit more. If you do have any more questions, feel free to drop me a comment below and I'll get back to you, or drop me a DM on Instagram. If there's enough questions, I might do another one of these videos, who knows? But yeah, I have loved filming this and I really hope that you guys have enjoyed it too. If you did enjoy it, please feel free to drop me a like below. It really, really does help the channel and it makes me smile. So please do drop a like below if you did enjoy. And with that, I am going to love you and leave you, and I will catch you in the next one.